pick it up from chapter 11, which is wisdom. So Ashtavakra said, existence, non-existence, change. This is the nature of things. Realizing this, stillness, serenity, and bliss naturally follow. Existence, non-existence, change. This is the nature of things. Realizing this, stillness, serenity, and bliss naturally follow. So from which perspective can we say this? Existence and non-existence. You see? Because everything seems to happen, all that is phenomenally changing, seems to happen within this realm of existence. So there must be something prior to that which can say existence, non-existence. What can we say about our non-existence? More and more we need to look at that aspect of it. You see, the backdrop of existence is what is being pointed at here in Satsang. Otherwise we will remain in this objects of existence, remain in our engagement of these objects of existence, you see, which is not to be free from them, which is not liberation, which is not moksha. Moksha is to be able to step back from this entire realm of existence and see the existence is all there is. Existence is all there is phenomenally. But is there something which is beyond phenomena, beyond this realm of existence? So he says existence, non-existence, change. This is the nature of things. So in the realm of existence itself, everything is constantly changing. This is very important for us to see. Because this is the cause of all sorrow, all suffering. We get attached to something which is constantly changing. If you are not attached to anything in this phenomenal realm, could we suffer? If you are not identified with an object, with something, whether it's partner, whether it's family, whether it's this body itself, whether it is some other form of material success, whether it is something for this phenomenal existence, phenomenal appearance of this body-mind, all of this is what is making us suffer. But if you were to leave this aside, and even to be able to say leave this aside implies that there is something beyond this, isn't it? If it is only restricted to this, then why would the sages have said, okay, leave it aside, keep it aside for some time? If it is all there is, then how to keep it aside? You cannot keep it aside. So what does it mean? That we can witness, yes, exactly. So who is that is witnessing this phenomenal world? Who is aware of your existence right now? Is that changing? So once we get used to this stillness, this unchanging, once it is seen that existence, non-existence, change, this is the nature of things, then realizing this, stillness, serenity, and bliss naturally follow. Because we are going to that which is unmoving, unchanging, completely serene. In the waking state, it is like touching the bliss of sleep. That which witnesses this play of existing, the not existing, and the entire realm of change. If you see that the entire realm of existence becomes non-existent and then exists again, and within this realm of existence, change is constant, then it becomes clear that this is not what I want now, that I'm looking for the truth. I'm looking for something which is constant, unchanging. And the pointing is to follow that which witnesses all that can change. And you find that it is I, this unchanging awareness, attributeless, beyond the concept of any movement. Completely still. This is the point at which you will resolve yourself. You will resolve the mystery of yourself. You will not resolve it within the realm of change. It might seem like we do some preparatory work within this realm of change for us to be able to contemplate this point, that which is aware even of existence and non-existence. We find that it is beyond all identity, beyond all desires and aversions, beyond all sense of movement. That's why the sage says, realizing this, stillness, serenity and bliss naturally follow. Then the next verse, one who knows for certain that self creates all and is alone becomes still, desireless, unattached. One who knows for certain means what? It doesn't mean a mental knowing, because no actual mental knowing really is to know for certain. It is only a collection of concepts, and concepts are inherently disputable, debatable, and that is why it can seem like there is no certainty to be found in the realm of mental and intellectual knowledge. So the certainty that the sage is talking about is to see this as a living experience, as a direct experience. The self creates all. To see this is to see that when we are asleep, there is nothing. There is nothing at all. There is only an awareness that there is nothing. So the self does not go, but this self is not phenomenal. That is why we call it the no-thing. So this no-thing remains. Then what happens when we wake up? There is a sense of existence. I am, that awakens. But where does this come from? Did it come from outside? But there was no outside. There was no inside or outside. Therefore, what must this consciousness, this sense of existence, I am, be made up of? It must be seen then that this sense of existence must be made up of what is here, which is this simple awareness, non-phenomenal truth, which now exhibits itself as the primordial vibration, I am, or Om, or Atma, beingness, consciousness, whatever term we use for it. This being, this consciousness emerges, which is your own presence. And with the birth of this presence, within the screen of this presence, using the light of its own presence, this entire play of light and sound is created. Therefore, no separation has ever happened. Everything that you experience is experienced within you, and your attention is only moving inside of you. So separation is a trick. Separation is a trick of the mind. The interpreting mind, the labeling mind, looks at this one appearance and interprets it as separate, creates duality where there is none, by interpreting, judging, and labeling. Even now you cannot do it. You cannot presume a sense of separation unless you label something as separate, unless you label something as anything, even your own emotion, even your own sensations. Unless we call them something, they are just a part of this one undifferentiated appearance. There are no two. And we already saw that this entire play, this entire realm of appearances is made up of this non-phenomenal self, non-phenomenal reality of the self, playing as this dynamic aspect as consciousness, and then playing the game of pretend separation by giving belief to this mind. That is all that is happening. And once you see this to be true, that it is the self, the one self that creates all, and there is nobody else, then we become in the recognition of the truth. It is naturally followed by the stillness, the peace that we are looking for. So in verse number 3, the sage Ashtavakra says, one who knows for certain that adversity and success come and go in obedience to destiny becomes content. He neither desires nor grieves. One who knows for certain that adversity and success come and go in obedience to destiny becomes content. He neither desires nor grieves. What is the meaning of destiny? Very simply put, destiny implies the will of God, the will of consciousness. You see? So, very often the term predestined is confused to imply that something is pre-written. Some script is there which is being followed. But the simpler explanation is to see that preordained or predestined implies that all is the will of God. It is prior to any idea, superfluous idea of control might have as seeming individuals. That is the truer definition. You see, that which is the creator of time cannot be subject to time, and therefore the concept of predestiny in terms of time does not apply. It only means that all is the will of consciousness. Consciousness is projecting the movie on the screen of itself as it sees fit. There is nothing that the non-existent person can do about it. When we say it like this, it seems so obvious. That which does not exist, that cannot be the doer, isn't it? Only that which is, which is God Himself, consciousness itself, is the creator, enjoyer, preserver, and dissolver of this realm. And who is this one? It is your own dynamic aspect. So upon hearing this, if there is a sense of powerlessness, then know that you are confusing yourself to be something that you are not. Upon hearing this, if there is a sense of powerfulness, then also know that you are considering yourself to be something that you are not. Consciousness is functioning in this very natural way. The creation and dissolution of this universe is a very natural functioning of this consciousness. So one who knows for certain that adversity and success come and go. So in the play, sometimes it can seem like thousands of obstacles, and sometimes it feels like we just started and it is done. Both of these happen, and the mind uses these things to create guilt or pride, unworthiness or arrogance. Both of these are fallacies. Because all is happening only in obedience to the will of God. And once this is seen, then that is that beautiful surrender. O God, let thy will be done. O Ram, whichever way you want to keep this body mind is your problem. O Master, Sadguru, whatever has to happen in this life is your will. And not only are you the doer, but you are also the one experiencer as consciousness. Therefore, what does any of this have to do with the person that I am presuming myself to be? Nothing at all. Because this person can neither do nor experience. To see this is very important, because otherwise we keep falling into this trap that God is the doer, but I am an individual experiencer. And why is God doing this to me? When will God make my life better? When will He change things? All of these are just ideas of the non-existent one. Then verse number 4. One who knows for certain that birth and death, happiness and misery come and go in obedience to destiny, sees nothing to accomplish. He engages in non-action, and in action remains unattached. So if birth and death, happiness and misery, they all come and go in obedience to this consciousness. We see this, isn't it? None of us can say, oh, I decided to be born. I decided that this is when I was going to be born. We cannot say this as a person anyway. Only as the Supreme we can say that I decided to have this human experience. And most who have not come face to face with the truth cannot say that death was a decision that was taken by me, was my own doing. Something deeper, when it is done with the experiencing of this realm, dissolves itself into its source. And we see this every day. When the urge for experiencing is done, no matter what experience might be available, when the deeper feeling is to go beyond this experience, then sleep comes. And with the coming of sleep is the dissolution of this universe. In the same way, birth and death, happiness and misery come and go in obedience to destiny. If I ask all of you mentally, you will be able to tell me 5 ways in which you can be happy. You'll say, okay, to be happy, all I need to do is this. We'll say, I just need to remain in the present moment. I just need to think happy thoughts. I just need to, whatever. You'll have a list of 5 things. But then, why aren't you? If you already know that these are the ways to be happy, why doesn't it happen that way? Because it is not about coming up with a mental resolution. It is the design of this play that as long as we are believing ourselves to be this ego, we are believing ourselves to be this non-existent phantom, then this roller coaster of ups and downs, happiness and misery will continue. And some are able to see this roller coaster, and this urge comes within them that I want out of this game. I want out of this merry-go-round. What is the truth? Like this young child Nachiketa, whose father was upset with him. And when Nachiketa asked his father, so who will you give me to? The father says, I give you to death, because you're just annoyed with him, upset with him. So then the Lord of Death actually came. Now, this is the story of the Katha Upanishad, the dialogue with death, which I don't know, did you get? So the God of Death comes, and Nachiketa, this young boy, asks him, tell me the secret to the eternal truths. And Yama, the God of Death, says, no, but you're too young for this. Let me offer you a kingdom and palaces and the best consorts and the best everything that life has to offer. So then Nachiketa says, but will these last forever? And the God of Death says, no, I will take all of them. All of these are subject to death. All that is created will be destroyed. So then Nachiketa says, I don't want any of that. Tell me only that which is the eternal truth. And then the Upanishad, the Upadesa of the Upanishad starts. And the Lord of Death gives him the same pointings that are being shared with you in Satsang, that have been shared by sages throughout time. So there are some who will see the fallacy of this, trying to cling to happiness and trying to run from misery. And their prayer will be to find that which is eternal. And there are others who are, when there's very strong misery that comes, they're looking for solutions to this misery, to this suffering. So the true spiritual seekers are usually of these two types. One that have seen this play and have this intense urge to find the truth which is eternal, and others who are in the throes of such strong suffering that they become open-minded to hear the truths. One who knows for certain that birth and death, happiness and misery come and go in obedience to destiny, sees nothing to accomplish. If death is going to come, what can we take with it, take along with us through this gate of death? So whatever we might acquire in this material realm, how long will it last? We don't even know whether it will remain till tomorrow. Who knows whether we will really wake up in this same realm tomorrow in the first place. So this one, he engages in non-action, and in action remains unattached. So that then what happens? What is he saying? Because this is another point that gets misunderstood. What is being said is that whether action or inaction is happening, he remains unaffected, untouched by it. You see? So there is not a preference for either, but only that attachment doesn't happen. You see? So just like this hand is moving, but there is no idea that okay, it should go this way or that way. You see? It is just moving on its own. We are unattached. Just like our eyes are blinking, and we are not attached to how often they are blinking or not, till I pointed it out maybe. You see? Just like this, all is happening. Our heart is beating. You see? Just in the same way, in the life of the sage, then actions happen or inaction can happen. There is no attachment or aversion to either. So he engages in non-action, you see, and inaction, and in action remains unattached. You see? Now, there is another point to be made over here, which is that because our conditioning in these times especially has been so much to do with do something, make something out of yourself, become something, become somebody. You see, this beautiful ability, I would call it actually, to just sit. Quietly with nothing. Just being. Not meditating, not chanting, not praying, not sleeping, not anything. Just existing. You see? What has happened is that this has become the age of boredom. Even with my children, I see this. That for 2 minutes, if they're just sitting with nothing to do, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. You see? And this bored then becomes such a strong momentum to doership. I want to do something. I want to do something. I want to experience more and more and more. You see? So a sage is one of the qualities of the sage is that this momentum of doership, this discontentment with what is in the present moment is not there. There is no attachment to doership. If there is something to be done, it can be done or not done. And there is full contentment with just what is, which could mean the actions happening through the body or no action happening through the body. The concept of boredom starts to seem more and more alien. There is no longer an urge to try and create your next experience. There is more trust in consciousness that whatever consciousness will bring in the next scene of the movie will be exactly what is needed in this movie, in this play.